Hello, everyone, and welcome to Race 2 versus Mesyr versus Sloaters. Uh, in the previous race, Sloaters won game 1 very convincingly in what was, by all accounts, a jet seed, maybe minus Varya being at gravity. But yeah, we'll see what happens in this race too, because the one thing about jet seeds is they do tend to benefit the more experienced runner. And so if things are maybe not quite as straightforward as far as the progression is concerned in this next seed, then we might actually see a closer race or just some different things happen. So we have had the countdown happen in SRL, so once the stream catches up, we'll see what happens. And yeah, get your guesses into chat as to what the first item is going to be. So I see a guess for Vanilla Morph. So yeah, both runners going down the elevator to check the morph item, and it is just Vanilla Morph. So that already is going to make some things interesting right off the bat. And we have space jump at Alpha Missiles. So yeah, so again, the space jump's going to open up some things. We have supers in the ceiling. And just missiles at the vanilla beta missiles. So again, we have a seed where the power bombs do not present themselves immediately, so our runners are going to be forced up to bomb Terizo. And I mean, thus far, like, not that different of an opening from the first seed. The biggest difference being that our runners have super missiles right off the bat. So Sloaters making the very quick climb up the parlor, making it look like about 20 times smoother than when I go up that room. And see what this is. It cannot be screw attack because because the logic will never force Alcatraz escape. So it will either either the runners have to have power bombs or bombs as a previous item, or that item has to be one of those. Sloaters getting the really quick Alcatraz escape. And going to this time go right down and check the 230 missiles immediately. And just vanilla 230 missiles. Nothing super exciting yet. And Sloater's getting what I think is like close to a frame perfect mock ball there. Because I want to say, or at least the mock balls that you get coming out of going into those crawl spaces are a lot more precise. So Mesyr's going to make the same play that he made last seed of going right up to the landing site power bomb location. Last time it just gave him an E-tank, and so it wasn't really that impactful, as we find supers and an E-tank at the back of Gauntlet. We'll see what happens this time. Mesyr just going to wait for the acid, and just missiles, and Mesyr's just going to nope out of that. Sloater's making his way to Green Brinstar to do the early supers check. And again, early supers is just early supers. So what will Brinstar Reserve have for us? More supers, a reserve tank, and another reserve tank. Ron Pepillo is trying to swindle us with his trash tanks. But since that's all our runners really have at the moment, other than the E-tank under the bridge, at least Sloaters is going to pick them up. So, what will be at the Edicoons? It's just supers in the front and an E-tank. So basically, it's French vanilla. Those two items are just reversed. So, will this be completely French vanilla, or nope? A missile at the powerbomb location. So, nothing huge thus far. So, we've got a bit of a slower start. Sloaters having to lay a second power bomb here is a bit unfortunate for Sloaters. He laid that first power bomb a little too early. Is going to need to be very careful with his power bomb usage now. This time he lays this this power bomb correctly to open both the yellow door on the right side and these power bomb blocks on the left side, but is not going to go into the side hopper room immediately. Is going to find another power bomb pack though, which I think Sloaters is very glad to see, having accidentally wasted a power bomb getting there. And now Sloaters is going to make his way into the side hopper room. I feel like Sloaters may have made a bit of a detour there. Yeah, and just finding super missiles there. Mesyr unfortunately falling all the way back down there. But makes his way back up. So Sloaters has the wave gate and the spore spawns location to check. Sloaters making that wave gate glitch look easy. And finding the morph bombs behind the wave gate. So that means that that significantly decreases the soft lock potential, having the ability to use regular bombs there. And Sloaters making his way back during Spore Spawn. So Spore Spawn is none the wiser that his item back here is about to disappear. And it's just missiles, which Sloaters already having 35 regular missiles. So, which again is kind of interesting because it's more than I feel like Sloaters would normally pick up, but I mean, it never hurts to have more. And just super missiles at the pipe, missiles in Green Hills. So Sloaters is going to go into Blue Brinstar rather, and is going to find his Varia suit. So that is a really important find. So Sloaters is going to continue to check Billy Mays and a couple of the other items here. Mesyr looks at Spore Spawn's last possession and sees it's just missiles and decides that Spore Spawn can keep them. So with that, yeah, so I think Sloaters has the option of going right down to Norfair and just like full clearing that. And Vanilla Billy Mays, I'm not sure whether Sloaters intended to pick up that missile pack there. But either way, he now has 40-30, which should be plenty of ammo if he decides to go right down to Lower Norfair. Although his options for things like Worsham in the game aren't necessarily the greatest. I guess with Space Jump, it's he should really be fine, but he may want to do some checks in Upper Norfair before going down to Lower Norfair. Or may even decide to go up to Wrecked Ship and hope to find Gravity Suit at the bottom. And as our runners have just had a high five, Mesyr now having his Gravity Suit. And Sloaters is going down. I think maybe thought for a second and then decided to go right into X-Ray. Which with his current health is a little bit dangerous, but since he has Varya, he has basically 75% protection from spikes, so it shouldn't be that bad of a check. And just missiles at X-Ray. Sloaters not quite escaping there in time, has to use a bomb to lower the gate. Yeah, Sloaters probably gonna farm a few power bombs on the way out. And that is a good point, that Sloaters may want to visit his... Nope, he is going to skip by his own refill. But he is going to super the door open. Perhaps just as a shout out to the restream. Picks up a third power bomb pack at the Spacer location as Mesyr having more power bombs. I missed what was at Old Mother Brain, but Mesyr is going to climb up the climb again. And since he didn't do it earlier, Mesyr is now going to check the 230 missiles, and I presume he is going to be disappointed with what he finds there. Yep, turns right back around. And Sloaters finding high jump boots. So that's... yeah, having high jump boots is going to be really nice. Like, that should make him much more confident about his Lower Norfair in particular. So Sloaters is going to be heading into his Kraid fight, and we'll see for the first of our runners in this particular race if Sloaters takes Kraid to prom. And nope, sends Kraid immediate rejection. Makes him sit right back down, and yeah, finding nothing really useful behind Kraid, but that's boss 1 of 4 down. And yes, Sloaters, being a top tier runner, yeah, does not have any time for prom. as Mesyr also finds nothing good at the front of Gauntlet, so Gauntlet really is a bust, this particular seed. But Mesyr is going to wreck ship as Sloaters finds Gravity Suit, which is really bad for Mesyr, I think, because if Mesyr goes right to wreck ship, he's not likely to find much there. Or Mesyr is just going to be checking the moat item and heading down from there. Which is not a bad play in and of itself, because we have seen some important items at moat. So Sloaters mockballing to check the ice item. As Mesyr is going to be checking the beta power bombs, laying his power bomb as far as possible to the left, but unfortunately does not double hit those side hoppers, so has to use some ammo to kill them. I don't think there was anything of note at ice. Sloaters manages to get the really nice mock ball out of ice. Now I'm going to be checking the high jump items. Mesyr finding an E-Tank at the Alpha power bombs, as well as a super pack, but nothing really of note. And yeah, I strongly suspect that Sloaters is not going to be checking those items. Although if he doesn't find ice or speed, then he may wind up being in a position to check them. Okay, just a super at ice. And a triple super high jump room. So I think we're definitely kind of closing in on like a chargeless seed, with Sloaters already having 50 supers and 40 regular missiles. Just needs 2 more super packs. Yeah. And Sloaters just showing off the like really refined movement through the cathedral rooms, picking himself up another E-Tank and a free refill. I mean, to be honest, Sloaters like is just a couple ammo packs away from go mode, like already. This, just with the location of where the suits were, this is kind of proving to be just another jet seed. And I think this is again kind of showing, as Sloaters gets the really nice chronic boost, it's just really showing how just these seeds that put suits in like really quick to get locations tends to really benefit very experienced runners, because they can just take just the suits, and with their really good movement, they don't really need much else to go really fast. And yeah. Oh yeah, so Sloaters also needs ice or speed, or to be able to crystal flash clip. And since Sloaters actually has bombs, the crystal flash clip is definitely a possibility, and we may see Sloaters pick up an extra power bomb pack just to have a couple more tries at it. And yeah, it's definitely like interesting with like what when you think about like what it does take to kind of tip the scales in favor of a less experienced or less skilled runner, and that, I mean, it really takes like some crucial item just being in some really out of the way location. Or just a really serious mistake on the part of the technically more skilled runner. And as I suspected, Sloater's picking up an extra power bomb pack, so it looks like he will be going for the Crystal Flash clip strat. Mesyr is setting up for the quick kill, it looks like, although he is a little bit further back and doesn't have missile selected. So he's gonna set up basically just using a standard shot. Normally runners, if they had charge, would use a charge shot there, but the only difference between a normal like P shot as opposed to the charge shot is that the charge shot will freeze Kraid's arm in place. And I mean, yeah, it is definitely true, but like, I'm just talking from the theoretical standpoint of like what needs to happen for a less experienced runner to win out. And I mean, we've seen a little bit of it in these races with Mesyr kind of going like checking the landing site item really early on, whereas Sloaters went the more direct route, with Mesyr kind of hoping that Varia or something would turn up there and that Sloaters would wait to check it for much later. Sloaters using some interesting farming strats there that ultimately I don't think it worked out, so he's just gonna, unfortunately, since he doesn't have any beam upgrades, it's gonna take him 2 shots. Mesyr not quite getting the mock ball on his entrance to ice on his first attempt, but gets it beautifully on the second attempt. And yeah, Sloaters, because he kind of entered here really early, which is a really good play he doesn't necessarily have the best equipment for farming here, but now he has 31 supers and some missiles, has plenty of equipment, is going to unload a bunch of missiles first, because it's a lot easier to unload missiles early on in the fight than it is later in the fight when Ridley is enraged. Yeah, Mesyr is going to be actually checking the crumble shaft item as Sloaters finishes very quickly with the Ridley fight. And that's charge beam, or no, it's ice beam. It was definitely a beam. I thought for a second it was charge beam, but unfortunately, realizing why Crumble Shaft is such an annoying room when you don't have Spring Ball, is gonna have to climb back up here and... Okay, eventually Mesyr picks up his ice beam, but yeah, definitely took him a bit. So that actually puts Mesyr, well, into go mode minus ammo. Does a nice job getting himself back up. Whereas Sloaters has the possibility of getting that crystal flash clip, but otherwise may still be looking for ice or speed. Mesyr gonna check the croc escape item, and it's just an E-tank. Sometimes you see really important items at the croc escape, so it's always a good idea to just check what's there. And Mesyr manages to successfully shoot the gamer in that room. Or is that what that enemy is? Smokey probably about to correct me. And going to pick up his triple super missiles. Okay, a Nova. Okay, yeah, I knew I had gotten that one wrong. As soon as I said, I'm like, wait. Have we seen all 4 reserve tanks at this point? It must be close, because we saw 2 of them early on. Okay, the Gamers are the spiky ones in Criteria and Blue Burn Star. Okay. Okay, I think, yeah. So Sloaters out of Lower Norfair has 40-65, so has all the ammo he'll need for Mother Brain, but doesn't really have a way yet of doing Zeb Skip. So Sloaters may actually be looking for a couple more ammo packs and finds Plasma Beam at Wave. So the Plasma Beam is a nice to have, but without charge is not like gonna really be progression. And Mesyr going through the pipe maze there with power bombs. I presume he was looking for the drops. Now has to kind of mid-air morph his way back up. Sloaters and Mesyr are in the same room, but not quite gonna high five, as Sloaters is just gonna get right out of there. Sloaters gonna farm a bit, wants to have some more supers and presumably close to full health. Having bombs, he's able to do a fairly efficient farm there. Is Sloaters going to make the play to Croc, or is he just going out the Croc escape? I'm guessing Sloaters is just going to go out the Croc escape, because I feel like there's not really much reason you would check Croc in this situation without also checking all of the Bubble Mountain items. And it looked like he did a jump, so yeah, he's going to just pick up the Croc escape E-tank, most likely. Mesyr is going to show us what's that speed booster. And Sloaters indeed picking up that E-tank. And Mesyr finding Charge Beam. Presumably Mesyr is also going to find plasma, so he's going to have a pretty decent beam combo. So he will have that as a slight advantage, but unfortunately I don't think that is going to be enough of an advantage to let Mesyr catch up at this point. Ice was at Crumble Shaft. So yeah, Sloaters just heading right up. He might check a couple of things for ice, but is probably setting himself up to do the Crystal Flash clip, which is presumably also why he was farming earlier to get his ammo counts up for the Crystal Flash. So Mesyr with a pretty decent beam combo probably now feels a little bit bad about how many ammo packs he's picked up. But of course, prior to that point, had no idea where Charge actually was. But Mesyr is going to be heading down the remembered highway to Lower Norfair. As Sloaters takes a save and is going to set up to do the Crystal Flash clip up to Botwoon. So we'll see. Although he does have to damage himself down first. I'm going to be grabbing a couple of these mock droids. Yeah, I'm going to turn off his suits just so that they take his health down faster. Almost too much. And now with his health down to 19, he's going to be basically has to set himself up so that he's in the middle of the power bomb explosion as the power bombs are going off, gets that Crystal Flash, is into Botwoon. So really well done, Sloaters, getting that. It's not an easy trick. And getting a 2-round Botwoon with just basically having supers, that is still a really well done Botwoon fight. Mesyr making it upwards from the game really nicely, gets the jump through the door into Amphitheater, but okay, going with a slightly different strat for getting through. Sloaters going to bomb jump his way through the Morph Ball tunnel there. And gonna refarm up before Dragon because Sloaters doesn't really have any way of dealing with Dragon quickly. So Sloaters did not check Crumble Shaft, so he did not find Ice Beam, which would allow him to do a mock droid clip. And he also did not have Speed Booster to go the intended way through the speed block. So the Crystal Flash clip was his only way with the item set that he had. Logically, Speed Booster is accessible somewhere, but it's probably in Wrecked Ship somewhere. And knowing the way that this logic tends to be, it's probably like up in bowling. So by being able to do that trick, Sloaters saved himself a lot of time searching for Speed Booster. Mesyr dealing with the Metal Pirates. Has plenty of ammo, plenty of health, so should be able to just jump right into his Ridley fight. Sloaters going through with the ammo Dragon fight. Able to clear out the goop really efficiently with already having plasma, and Dragon is down very quickly. Just doing repeated damage boosts just for the heck of it. As Mesyr enters his Ridley fight, has plenty of supers to spare, so he can be pretty aggressive. And just an E-Tank behind Dragon, which Sloaters decides to pick up. And Mesyr done with his Ridley fight. And looks like Mesyr deciding not to check the Ridley item. Sloaters has to make his way back through this morph maze. Probably going to just head right down into the sand pit there and gets a nice quick drop into it. Going through the morph tunnel and out the left sand pit there. So Sloaters actually looks like he's setting up for a snail clip here. So by lining up the snail on the perfect pixel, he's able to jump up here and check these aqueduct items that normally require speed booster. And he gets it like so quickly that yeah, you barely have time to process it. But yeah, it's a really precise positioning that requires. I almost want to say it's pixel perfect. Yeah, it's actually in the SMZ3 combo randomizer in the hard logic, that snail clip is a required trick in that logic. Sloaters firing one plasma shot at the Ponkfish on his way out. But doesn't quite kill the Ponkfish. And Sloaters actually is going to be checking the Alpha and Beta Power Bomb locations. If I recall correctly, there wasn't really much of value there. And Sloaters going to decide to go ahead and pick up more super packs because Sloaters doesn't have ice, doesn't have speed, he doesn't have any way of performing a Zeb skip. And so having more super missiles will mean that he won't have to refill. So I want to say he's looking for one more pack, and with one more pack of super missiles, then he'll be guaranteed to not need a refill. Having the extra missile pack might also do it. I would have to do the math on that. Mesyr also going to escape out the Croc escape. Also jumping through the door, so yeah, it doesn't look like he is going to Croc, and indeed he's just going to just pick up that E-Tank that was at Croc escape. Okay, Sloaters is going to pick up that extra missile pack. With that, I think he is finally like really go mode, including the ammo requirement, because it's because he's going to need a couple supers for the door, the 30, or for the doors, 30 for Mother Brain 1, or actually 36 for Mother Brain 1, and then having the 11 for okay, maybe he wants one more, and then 11 for one of the Zebs, and he can kill the other Zebs with supers, but decides he doesn't want that missile pack. He may have been looking for, because he doesn't know where ice is, so he might have been looking for ice or speed to enable a Zeb skip. So the big issue is, and the reason why he picked up more ammo is the fact that he didn't have the ability to do Zeb skip, so he needed to. So he wants to be able to kill the Zebs without refilling, and that's why, like, also he probably might check like 1 or 2 more locations for ice or speed to enable a Zeb skip. Sloater's getting a lot of missiles in on that first Doppler. Looking really good for a 2-round. As Mesyr making his way towards Botwoon will be able to do just a normal Moktroid ice clip here, which is significantly easier. But yeah, the advantages of finding ice and also having a decent beam combo. Mesyr's just able to use his beam combo on Botwoon and conserve his supers. And it's a lot easier, I find, to just, and especially with the fact that Plasma can pierce through Botwoon's otherwise invulnerable parts of his hitbox. Sloater's finding grapple and deciding he does not need it and being correct. But he is actually going to check the right side supers as well, which I think is a bit of an interesting choice. Presumably he just wants something to enable a Zeb skip, but he'll take one more super pack. That should be a full guarantee that he can get through without any refills being required. We probably will see Sloaters exit Rick ship now, but do a ship refill before heading into Turian so that he has enough supers. In fact, I think he pretty much has to. I don't think Sloaters check what was at the Precious missiles, but it's just Precious supers today. But they aren't precious enough for Mesyr. Yeah, I'm actually noticing a little bit of oddities with Twitch at the moment, so yeah, there's something clearly going on, but Mesyr in his Dragon fight, just gonna use charge shots, with, again, having charged plasma makes this a pretty decent strat because, and also having screw attack, which I don't remember seeing him pick up, but it was a really nice find. Yeah, made that Dragon fight really fast. Meanwhile, Sloater's done with the ship refill, is going to head into Turian, has plenty of power bombs to power bomb the Metroids, which he's gonna have to do because he doesn't have ice. So Sloater is going to group the Metroids together, which actually is made slightly easier because he does not have screw attack. He is going to want to conserve his health somewhat because presumably he does not want to be forced to refill. I presume... Well, actually, Sloaters may or may not go for Baby Skip here because he doesn't have Wave Beam, which will make the Baby Skip a lot slower because he won't be able to efficiently clear out the brambles. Yeah, the Smoky Validation item just hasn't turned up anywhere. Presumably it's like somewhere deep in Meridia or in Wrecked Ship. And our runners were in go mode a long time before then. Mesyr making his way out of Meridia and out of Red Tower. So Sloater's not going to attempt a Baby Skip, just going to damage himself on this hopper. Facing left, so Sloaters has lost 2/3 of a second. And actually, I mean, all in all, this race, like, Mesyr's caught up a pretty decent amount because he literally is just a Fantoon fight, and some movement down. I mean, unfortunately, like, I think, or what I should say is, like, unfortunately for Mesyr, Sloaters does have this in the bag, barring a disaster. So, yeah, we will. Yeah, so, Sloaters is going to be taking a save as Mesyr enters his Fantoon fight. Yeah, I mean, Sloaters, yeah, definitely on a rampage, but, like, Sloaters is also a very, very skilled runner, and so sometimes when you're against this caliber of runner, like, you need a lot to go right in order for you to be able to take a victory, and yeah, unfortunately for Mesyr, like, it just, the suits kind of presented themselves really quickly, and that kind of put Sloaters into just being able to just go really fast. And I mean, it just speaks to just how important good movement is in this game. So Mother Brain should be in the catch-up phase. Yeah, interesting. Like, Mother Brain, like, I think only fired like one catch-up for that entire fight. But yeah, just with, yeah, just better movement, just really can, in this particular game, can outshine so much else in this game, just because of how many movement options you have and just how much or how few hard item requirements there really are in this game. So Sloaters in the cutscene as Mesyr's going to be heading to Turian. We'll see if Mesyr decides to do a ship refill. He may decide to skip it, given that he's just about to be... Nope, he is going to do a ship refill. Which does make sense. Super missiles are still going to be higher DPS in the Mother Brain fight. Sloaters, about done with the Mother Brain fight, experiences the saddest moment in video game history. And I mean, yeah, like, Mesyr's played very, very well. And, like, he's made some, like, really nice plays that netted him, like, Ice Beam and Charge Beam that... and nice avoiding picking up the Terminator missile. But it's just that, yeah, just unfortunately the seed kind of played against him, and just again, it's just Sloaters is just a whole nother tier of skill at this game. Sloaters, almost forgetting that he doesn't have speed booster, runs a bit at the lower level of the room before realizing he has to take the slower path because he doesn't have the speed booster. Mesyr with Ice Beam is able to just kill these Metroids with ice and supers. And doesn't really even have to worry about getting his ammo back because he has charge and way more than enough supers for Mother Brain 1. So he has basically zero potential of soft lock. Sloater's gonna have to manually climb up the climb just because he doesn't have, again, speed booster to do the spark up the climb. Still gonna get up to Parlor with 2 minutes remaining on the clock. So, and going to run right by the animals. And with that, Sloaters has finished in first place with an official SRL time of 56:01. GG to Sloaters. Very well done. As Mesyr looked like he might have been setting up for a baby skip but didn't quite get it. Mesyr choosing to super open that door before getting the energy refill. Okay, so we should eventually get Sloaters in for an interview, but he does say he'll wait for Mesyr to finish. So Mesyr choosing to just super the Zebs. I mean, he has the ammo for it, and yeah, I guess without wave, the Zeb skip's a little harder because you have to shoot the Rinka from below. So he may just feel like it's just given the amount of ammo he has, it's just faster to super them. And looks like, okay, so he started off with a charge shot. He's gonna fire a bunch of supers, probably down to 15. Yeah, and now he's just gonna continue to fire charge shots into Mother Brain until the catch-up phase, and then use the 15 remaining supers. Yeah. Okay, and now we're in catch-up phase. And with that, Mesyr is done with Mother Brain 2, now in the cutscene. So Wave Beam was in the Sky Missile location, it looks like. Yeah, and just the way that this seed was laid out, pretty much neither of our runners had any reason to head up there. Yep. So, and now for the baby Metroid is refilling Mesyr, and yeah. I mean, in a way, it was a French vanilla ice beam. And it's just one of those things where, especially with the item set that, that you had at that point, it was a really annoying check to have to do. Because it's like you have to either get it perfect or you basically fall down the entire room. And Mesyr just using lag corner strats on Mother Brain 3 gets the job done. And Mesyr just setting up to enter the escape. Because you want to basically, just enter with your feet on the ground, and then you can just run right through. Mesyr didn't quite get the optimal strat where you basically just angle down and shoot forward and run, and then you can kill all of them without having to, without having to, like, shoot the upper part of the gates. Yeah, so Smokey, they did have space jump, and, but yeah, just one of those things. So yeah, with space jump, you can just basically shoot the item, jump across, and collect it that way. But if you missed your space jump input, then you're falling all the way down the shaft pretty much, unless you can do the frame perfect jump. Like that. That's one of those items where it's like where I'm pretty like it's really easy to pick up if you have speed booster because you just spark into it and then hold right and shoot as you come out of the speed booster crash animation. But and also if you have spring ball, you can make your way down fairly easily. But yeah, without either of those items, it can be annoying. And Mesyr is going to head to the animals. Yep, and saving the animals. And yep, now Mesyr just gonna make his way right to the ship. and is going to finish in second place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 3 minutes, 27 seconds. GG to Mesyr. Well raced by both runners. And we are joined by Sloaters. GG Sloaters.
Thank you.
GG Mesyr, who's also joining us.
GG.
Good game.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So, your initial thought? I mean, on this seed, but yeah, probably like both of them.
Both of them pretty easy suits to get. They were, at least for me, pretty early.
Those are exactly my first thought. Easy suits on both.
I don't know if you went to wreck ship first on the first seed, but like, man, that was
yes, it did.
really fast.
But I'm glad I didn't on the second one.
Yeah, I didn't either. That was my last stop.
I love a go mode.
Yeah. And it was really like, yeah, I mean, I think like one of the biggest differences was, Mesyr in that second seed checked the crumble shaft item, whereas, Sloaters skipped it, and as a result, Sloaters wound up having to do a crystal flash clip to get up to Batoon, which was pretty cool to see.
Awesome.
Yeah, I wanted to go down there and check that, but I kind of just backed out because I didn't feel like it was worth the time because it was a little bit out of the way. And
it's a fairly annoying room, especially when you didn't have Spring Ball and you didn't have Speed Booster.
I'm guessing
like trying to return from that room too, like without having a mock ball, it's pretty slow going like in the tunnel up top.
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah.
Ooh, Speed Booster Sandpit. Neither of us were going anywhere near that.
No way. No.
Yeah, that's actually probably one of the trolliest locations it could put Speed Booster, because it's basically like forcing you to like get all the way there and check the sand pits for the item you need to progress. In logic, that is.
Oh yeah, because logically it would require you to go down into the sandpit and then back all the way up to get to Batoon.
Yeah. Because I think it's like, a lot of the sequence breaks like that are like really valuable in this logic, just because it's like the logic can force you to do some really out of the way things, and if you can manage to sequence break that, then it makes things a heck of a lot faster.
Indeed.
Yeah,
do you like the double?
Oh, what's that?
Did you like the double reserve behind Brinstar Reserve?
Yeah, that was kind of funny. It was like double French vanilla reserves. I laughed a little bit when I saw the second one.
Extra vanilla latte.
Yeah, I just was like, my response was like, yeah, Ron Papillo was just like being a scam artist with putting like just 2 trash tanks there.
Yeah, energy was scarce. That was the only thing that scared me, because of my lower execution, only going into Ridley with four tanks, because it was pretty scarce up until that point.
Yeah, I think I found most of my tanks like at the very end, like when I was coming back from Iridia and going into wreck ship. I started picking up a lot of extra ones because I knew I wasn't gonna have ice or the Metroid, so I figured I would lose a lot of health.
It's true.
Trying to power bomb those guys.
What slowed me down a lot in the first was not having plasma or screw for lower Norfair.
Yeah, my escape wasn't. I didn't have a ton of health for that, so I mean, I wasn't very close to dying, but I was a little nervous, definitely, at that part.
Did you see plasma or screw in the...
Yeah, plasma was at the wave missiles.
Should have gone up there first.
Yeah, that was a little slap in the face for not checking that before going down there.
Oh no, on the first race. First race was plasma anywhere? Because I think that was the second one.
I didn't get plasma. I can't remember where it was at.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. Probably somewhere buried in Meridia or...
Yep. So Sloaters, yeah. In the first race, I had noticed you were picking up a lot of extra power bomb packs. So I presume, were you like thinking of a potential crystal flash clip, or was there some other reason that you were picking up that many power bomb packs?
Yeah, that was mostly why. Like I said, we got the suits like so early on, and then at that point I decided I was just gonna be very thorough. I think I was already at like 25 or 30 power bombs, but if I just would have found ice, speed, or regular bombs, that would have been enough for me to get through Batoon, and that was the only thing I needed at that point. But it's always nice having, like 10 or 20 tries on that clip, because it can be a little finicky sometimes.
Yeah, because I think it's like, from what I've heard, it's like not too bad if you have regular bombs, but if you don't have regular bombs, then it's a lot harder.
Yeah, with the regular bombs and gravity, there's a pretty good queue for it. I feel pretty consistent getting it, like, if I have like 10 tries or so without like having to reset. But if you don't have that stuff and you have to like do it suitless, there's really like no good queue for it, and that one I'm way less consistent with, so I don't even try to go for something like that in a race.
Yeah. So, yeah. Any other thoughts on the races?
I mean, these were pretty quick seeds. I mean, as far as the suits go, of course, you had to dig a little bit for that Batoon item. Other than that, yeah, I enjoyed playing them. Good game to Mesyr, of course.
Yes, GG as well. I'm proud of 106. I think is pretty good for me. I'm not the sharpest execution in the world, so I consider that pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, these full randos can take a while. Sometimes you gotta go on a pretty big hunt for the stuff you need.
That's why I was just picking up. That's why I just picked up every super I could, especially in that second race.
Yeah. So with that, so Sloaters, it looks like you'll be moving on to face the winner of Dirksu and Diddy Kong. So it will be interesting to see that. Then I was gonna see like who, if we know who Mesyr is going to be facing in the alternative bracket.
I think there's still like three pending matches, so it's...
Yeah. Yeah, so any other closing thoughts from either of you?
Best of luck in all future rounds.
You as well.
Yeah. So yeah, with that, yeah, those were definitely a couple of really exciting races. Let's see if I can pull up what's on the schedule. So have tomorrow. Yeah, so tomorrow at 2:30. Looks like we have Stars versus Mithra. So that should be exciting. And speaking of Dirksu versus Diddy Kong, that is scheduled for 3 o'clock. And then at 4 o'clock, we have scheduled Mumu Diddy versus Jonas Seal. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation of that. And then at 6 o'clock, we have the doubleheader of Cross Product versus Zensky. So definitely some exciting races coming up tomorrow. But yeah, with that, may you not find your Varia suit at Shack Tool, and see you next mission.